Malloy and I are back. I'm usually Stanley Nyeringita. On Thursday, last week, the KCSE results were announced by the Cabinet Secretary of Education, that is Julius Ogamba. 1,693 students got A's, 48,333 got E's, and then quite a bunch in between. But then the bigger question for all of these parents is, what next after KCSE? What do I do with my niece, nephew, son or daughter? Well, worry not. We do have an expert joining us this evening who will be helping you as a parent really understand all this. Scholar Odhiambo, welcome.
Thank you.
Kindly tell us who you are, and then first of all, what are your thoughts about this year's results? I know you've seen quite a bunch of them.
All right, like you mentioned my name, I'm a career development practitioner and also the secretary of CDAC, that is Career Development Association of Kenya. Yes, we also the results having come just after the festive season, and everyone was wondering, wow, they are here. And looking at just an analysis in regards to just the figures you have read, and allow me to just concentrate on the ones that were wanting, the 48,000 that you've just mentioned. This is actually an increase out of what we had last year. Last year we had an increase of 30,000 E's. So that's an almost 18,000 increase. So you can actually see the shocking is not just on the parents, but it's also on the students and the whole teaching fraternity as a whole, because the A's have reduced and the E's have increased. Yes, we only have 2 years before we phase out the 844 system. And that keeps asking, where is the economy going to? Where is the education system going to? Yes, we're all excited about the grade 9. So next year, like now, we are going to be having a different conversations, because now we'll be having the grade 9 as candidates. But just looking at what the results that have just come, what next?
And sorry on this, and sorry to cut you short, the fact that you went deep on the E's as well, and one would ask, I mean, how does one overcome this, particular kind of grades? Because as parents and guardians, you oftenly hear this a lot. What do I do with this learner, the fact that he or she got this kind of grades?
One of the things we advise as career development practitioners is to allow you not let the grades define you.
Okay.
But start defining what are your interests, what are your passions, what are your talents, what are your gifts, and in general, who are you?
Okay.
Right before you get to choose your career, because it starts from who you are before you get to what you do.
Okay.
So the moment you identify that, one, you're a human being, number two, you're sober, number two, these are your weaknesses, these are your strengths.
Right.
You do a SWOT analysis. Then from there, it's very easy from there to be able to gauge what you have. The results are just a tip of the iceberg, just because it's the part of the education system. But that should actually not define everything around your life, because that was a span of 4 years.
Yes.
But in that particular 4 years, that was just one exam that helps define you. So just don't concentrate on defining everything around you. And I'm also talking to parents, because those are the others that are, you see the other day, a daughter who just rested because she got a D. It was very sad, because the influence was, the beating came from the dad. That means the parent was very disappointed. What about the disappointment that person who sat for the exam? So those are the ones who are wondering, what next?
And in the 4 years, this question crops up a lot.
Yes.
For these learners, unataka kufanya nini? What do you want to do? What do you want to be after Form 4? So for parents as well as guardians, this whole conversation about the career development, when should it start maturely, really?
It should actually start at the age of 7.
Okay.
So only that it is like climaxed at after Form 4.
Okay.
Because we first start with self-assessment. That's what I was just mentioning in terms of your interest and the SWOT analysis I mentioned. And there are tools currently. So we just don't do a random way of checking things. We have psychometric assessments where we're able to sit down with you and help to analyze right from the mind. Very simple questions, and help you the same way we do surveys or interviews. They're able to actually do exams or interviews that are actually quite intelligent. Then after that, we help you to explore what kind of from who you are to what are the positions, what are the skills that you have, what jobs can you be able to explore.
At age 7?
Yes.
But I mean, after that would mean for parent and guardian, you will be hearing a lot of changes from this land. I remember, I think when I was 7, I wanted to be a veterinary doctor. I'm not that right now.
Because everything has changed. But you can imagine if you started that because you saw so many cows. So you can imagine, since seeing the cows that time, and you kept going to the agricultural show and continue being a veterinary doctor, how with the kind of expertise, because your mind is growing. So it all depends on the exposure. So that is exploration. And we allow them to explore. Changing is agreeable, because even personality changes, your value system changes, and even interest gets to change. Then after that is you get to decide, which is now what people are asking, what is it, what next? So you're able to help you decide your particular career path.
At what age do you decide?
That now decisions continue coming in with time, because you see there are stages of each particular, and that is why you can see in terms of skills and talent, we have people who are really progressing right from the age of 10 and even playing international cups right now. So that is part of exploration. So that continues forming their journey. So by the time they reach now in terms of the education system, Form 4, they're already wondering what next. But they busy explode their talents, they busy explode their gifts. So what now they want is to have a clarity on their educational pathway. And that once they've been able to attest and see all these things that are able to pass, it gets easier. Then the last one is actually to create a plan, because you have to know what is it that, where is it that you're going. You create a vision 2030. So you start being first year, or your grades, what is it that your grades have had. So if you got an E, like those particular students, do they go back and repeat? And if you do not repeat, what next for you? Which institutions can you be able to apply? Definitely they're not qualified for the university.
And that is where I was going, because is there a possibility of being over-ambitious with this vision board that you have? You inform 3 and you're saying, you know what, Dad and Mom, I want to be a doctor. But then looking at the kind of grades maybe one has at that time, one might be too over-ambitious.
True, and that is why COOPs ideally changed how they get to place people. So they place you and they let you choose and go to their portal after your results. Before, it used to be before. That is before 2003. It used to be used to go and register and apply before the results. Then after the results come, you get the paradigm shift. But right now the system has changed. So you can only apply for the institutions after you get your results, once the portal is open. And some parents don't even know that the portal has been open. So what next? Look out for when the portal is open, because that is also another next. Some we've seen them miss getting to think that they actually logged in and applied in the portal when they were in school. And that is not the case, including for A students and even the C+ students, or even the ones who are low, because not only are they able to apply for university, they're also able to apply for TVET. That is Technical Vocational Education in Training. And that's right from the national polytechnics. And the only ones they cannot apply for is for the vocational training centers. But for the TTCs, they're able to apply, TTIs, and also for the national polytechnics, that's when they're able to be placed by COOPs. So what next is it for them? They're able to see what, in terms of your strengths, in terms of your career, right now they're going to be home for quite a while. So they're able to do job shadowing. According to the Ministry of Labor, right from the age of 12, there are small tasks you can be able to be given. So you can see there is a progression. You start from 7, at the age of 12, able to go to a law firm. See, this is what happens around the law, at the law, because I want to be a lawyer. You become learned friends. Learned friends need to be smart and in suits, not like in my kitenge. In my kitenge, you're not going to court.
Well, it depends on the day of the week, though.
Exactly. But they get to get the etiquette. If they want to be in the medic field, they have to be in their white coats. So they're able to see what is it that happens around that particular environment. By the time they are plugging into that career, they are going there knowing what is expected of them. By the time they are going to school, it gets easier, because we are having so many people change their education pathway or their career pathway in first year.
Yes.
And if they continue with it in second year and become depressed, they start getting into drugs and substance abuse. By the time they are second years and third year, it's actually a plus. And some even go and say, Malim, I don't know where I'm doing this course. It's very frequent. But if they got it right from the time they were in KCSE and when they were getting to apply for their courses, you save not only money, but you also save energy and they also save time. So I think getting to have a career plan, getting to have the career assessment, it makes a very big difference, both for the parent and also for the student.
Right.
Yes.
And even the fact that now this crop of learners are now getting into the industry, are preparing to get into the industry. This crop of learners are Gen Z. And well, I being one of them, being a Gen Z, we have been melted with stones that we don't have the soft skills. You get into the corporate world and you're already tired by already 2 hours. Help even these young learners now getting into the industry, how can they manage this? Because it's a different ballgame here.
Soft skills, you have no choice. Soft skills will help. The hard skills will get you the job.
Yeah.
The soft skills will help you maintain the job.
Okay.
So you need to know how to relate to your bosses. It doesn't matter whether you're a Gen Z, you're a baby boomer, it does not matter. Soft skills are the same across the board. Okay. And you have to make it, you have to actually be very intentional to keep learning, relearning. And that is what Alvin Toffler said, that the skills in the 21st century, it's not just learning, and you have to keep learning, relearning, and unlearning.
Okay.
Right now, there are places you have to stand because your boss has come. If you're in the military, you have to do your salutes.
The salute, yeah.
Yes, those are part of it's expected. So your boss passes and you don't do a salute. That is the fault right there. Yeah. So you have to know the etiquette that applies in each particular role. It would be very wrong to find a chef in a shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, in a shirt and a tie, surely. You are a chef. I need you to see in your chef's hat and in your chef's coat. Yeah. So when you get to know that this is what is expected in the workplace, it helps you maintain. Then from there, if you have your clear plan, like if you're in journalism, you already can identify, this is where I want to do, this is what I want to do. These are the soft courses, the courses I want to do, including right from LinkedIn to Coursera and other free courses that you have, so that you're able to equip yourself and improve yourself, because where right now AI is going, AI is really moving fast.
Oh yes.
The gig economy is even moving faster.
Okay.
So even as an individual, you have to understand, and once you've mapped your plan, get to know these are the gaps that you have, and these are the skill sets that you need to get. And then you forecast, we're in 2025. What kind of skill set could be asked by 2030 or by 2035 or in the next century? Some we may not know, because like 10 years ago, we didn't have TikTok. Oh, yes. So you also leave room for the unknown, but you make sure you covered your gap right from what is known.
Right.
Yes.
So even before we wrap it up, I know even for these young learners who just finished the KCSE, one thing that they'd really be looking forward to is writing their resume. Yes. And it's as white as, it's as clean as this piece of paper that I have here, because they don't have prior working experience at the moment. So they're starting afresh. How do they, piece up this paper and write out their resume, even as they progress into the kind of gigs that you're advising them to take up?
What they actually do is write their resume in terms of their record of achievement.
Okay.
And record of achievement, the first certificate they have is their birth certificate.
Yeah.
Everyone has a birth certificate. So you start from there,
okay,
when they were born.
Okay.
Then they reflect and see what kind of involvements they involve themselves in.
Right.
They went for Freedom from Hunger Walk, that is from the answer, or for Matahatra.
Okay.
From there, they got to involve themselves in activities, right from Scouts to Girl Guides. What is it that they went? Which kinds of camps did they go to?
Right.
Which kind of conferences did they attend? Did they even do TED Talks? Some do TED Talks. What if they were in clubs, in these particular clubs? Did they win medals? Did they go for music festivals? What skills did they acquire? So they're able to come and say that these are the skills they've been able to acquire, right from team building, critical writing skills, all those things, critical thinking. And when they put that in order, including their certificates, yes, the ones that you are awarded, the best student in debate and all. So that helps informing their record of achievement.
Do employers look at this, all those papers, all these achievements I did when I was 9 years old?
Exactly. The employer may not look at that,
okay,
but that will actually help propel.
Okay.
Because assume you went to UN for a debate, and I have never gone to UN. So I may actually stand better chances because it shows my exposure is actually higher. Yeah. So they should not take those things just for granted.
Right.
And they should actually be able to document that. And that is why the CBC has introduced the portfolio of evidence, the POE. And the same has also now been traversed to the TVETs, because people do so much, but they do not document.
Right.
So that helps, because that is where you acquire the soft skills.
Okay.
This is where you acquire the team building and all
right,
these other one or two soft skills.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to look at the camera in front of you and talk to a parent, a guardian who is stressed about marketable courses. What do I do with my child, nephew, niece, son or daughter after today? Help them tonight.
All right. One of the things I'll tell parents is that let your children live their dreams. Don't let them live your dreams through them. Don't live your dreams through them. Allow them to create a career plan. And the other thing is create for them the opportunities that they need to thrive. Again, do not condemn. Some say I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a TikToker. Explore, because they could be the creative industry.
Yeah.
And one of the things you need to do is to support. You've supported them right from when they were kindergarten to Form 4. So keep supporting their next step. Their next step is actually their greatest potential. And I'll actually quote what Steve Harvey says, where he says that I'm a product of circumstances, and I'm not just a product of circumstances, but a product of decisions. You are an influencer in their lives. Some do it for their parents. So propel them to make the right decisions so that their career path is brighter and it's greater. At the end of the day, you'll be the greatest beneficiary when they succeed. Most
definitely. Thank you very much, Scholar Odhiambo, for giving us these wise words. Right now, though, from Matters Education and asking what next? What next right now? Let's get sporty.